So you know what they always say here in California, it's the California market. It's too expensive. Oh my God, I can never do anything with California market. Really? Is that really the truth? Have you looked at the California market? And I would really employ everybody hearing my voice right now. Please stop saying, oh, the California market, because California's a big, big state. And I'm going to show you right now some differences in California. Now, some of these numbers are going to be a little bit lower, some of them will be a little bit higher. Everything's fluctuating as an ongoing basis, right? But I want to give you this quick depiction here. And then you guys go do your own research. You come back and tell me in the comments what you think. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel, though, because that really helps me out. All right, let's jump right into this right now. So, California as a whole, as you can see on your screen right now, Santa Clara and Fresno are two totally different locations, a different price point, different everything's in regards to what people are going to be paying for different locations. Now, I have a lot of friends in Santa Clara. I also have a lot of friends and family in Fresno. So, they're both great areas, two totally different marketplaces, still under California as a whole. So, with looking at that and kind of understanding what that means for all of us in regards to this, check this out. The headlines here are always saying, you know what? Well, the California median price is $4,000. Well, does that really matter, or does the location where you're living and kind of operating matter the most? Where it's kind of where you find home. What really takes place in your brain? Because people, when they say, "Oh, I want to live in California," do you? Or do you want to live in a specific part of California? What are the aspects of California that you want to live in or have around your chosen lifestyle? It's up to you. So here's a couple of the four counties that I really want to take a look at for our quick little snapshot here. So we have Santa Clara, Orange County, Sacramento, and Fresno. So what about these does it stand out to you right off the top? Right here, we're going to have the 1,950,000 in Santa Clara. With that probably literally gets you a two-bedroom condo. Then you have Orange County, 1,000,005, Sacramento, 575, and then Fresno, 429. Now look at this. This is the very interesting part. In Santa Clara, we have 11 days on the market on average, with 1.7 million as kind of like the monthly, how many months we have until we absolutely completely run out of homes that are currently on the market right now. So less than 2 months. We move over to Orange County, our days significantly jump, and we don't double, but we add another month on to our full inventory hold. But then that holds true. Look at that. Orange is 1,000,005, Sacramento at 575, 22 days on the market, Orange at 25, still both at 2.8 months of inventory. Then we come on over to Fresno and we see 429 for 430, 24 days on the market, 3.3 months of inventory. Why does that really matter? Well, it means that a lot of these properties in the Fresno and Sacramento areas, what we're seeing is a lot of the properties over there where we really kind of got saturated in regards to new home builds in the areas like Santa Clara and Orange got built out, and they aren't making that much more free dirt. San Francisco is a keen example of this. They are just fresh out of dirt, and that's why the prices are going vertical. Fresno and Sac have got a little bit more dirt around them, so we have a little bit more on the monthly hold times, right? And our price per year over year on our prices are doing. Santa Clara is down 1.8. Orange is up 12.2. And then check this out. This is the really cool part. Sacramento's jumped 18.3. And then, of course, Fresno's jumped 14.7. So we're seeing some healthy growth in the pricing in the more affordable neighborhoods. And we're seeing it come down in the more expensive neighborhoods. Very interesting conundrum right there. So speed always matters, right? So you get it on the market and you want to get it sold. I have a client of mine right now in the Bay Area. They have their property on for a very healthy amount of money, north of $5 million. And what's going on with them right now? No other homes are selling in that price point. So we're having the conversation over and over again. What should I do? How do I handle this? Should I take a price correction? What's my next step in this whole process? And as we look at the market and the numbers, we're going to hold steady on it right now. Now, we're going to hit a certain point. We're going to probably do a price correction based upon the fact we never want to chase a market down. We want to always, be ahead of the market. So what does that mean in reality? Reality speaking, when it comes to that, is that when you're pricing a property, right, this is where the level marketplace is. You never want to let the market get down here, and then you have to take a massive nosedive and try to beat it to the bottom. You want to see, here's the market. Here's my home price. I want to dip just a little bit here if you're not getting the activity, so that the buyers will see you and you're not going to be chasing them down like this. That's the worst possible thing you can do. But everybody gets lost in the weeds on, you know what, I don't want to, correct my price by 100,000, 50,000, 25,000, whatever it is. I don't want to lose that money. What if you lose 100 grand and you sit on the fence? Because like we're seeing here, speed still really matters on getting the property sold. Where are housing dollars, where it goes actually a lot further? Sacramento and Fresno. I'm currently, as of this recording, up in the Grass Valley, Auburn area, and those prices, you can get a fairly nice home for 575. Not a joke at all. Now you couldn't do that in 99.9% of the Bay Area. If you did get that price, it would not be something you wanted to live in, or it'd be like a condo or something like that. But in Fresno, where a lot of my family lives, Fresno, Bakersfield, Lost Hills, Wasco, I mean, I know those neighborhoods. You can really get into an affordable price at 430, right? That's not a bad price over there, but the sales are up 14.7. People are moving there. Sacramento, 18.3. People are moving there. Guys, then we go to Santa Clara. I'm just backed up one slide. 1.7 months, unsold inventory. Same thing with Orange. Unsold inventory, almost 3 months. The prices are affecting people's decisions. So here's our same state. Quick little difference. We can show this really fast. 1.95 Santa Clara. That's very low price, by the way. And then 430, 429, 820 in Fresno. That gap there at 1,520,000 and change. That is the difference. So with that amount of money, what could you do? I mean, do you hate Fresno that much? You'd never want to move down to Fresno, or do you just have to be in Santa Clara, or vice versa? No, it doesn't really matter the scenario. Where do you have to be? Where do you want to be? You're going to be paying a price one way or the other. It's up to you to make that decision. So here's one of the things that really, went to slide too fast. We're going over these very, very quickly. So what does this mean for sellers, right? Premium markets, we're going to be, presentation still matters. It really does. Well, that goes across all categories of pricing. I mean, presentation does matter. You always want to put your best foot forward. Never want to, show up for the first date wearing your 2-day-old, super comfy couch outfit without doing your hair or brushing your teeth, right? So you got to look good on your first date. So that goes across the board. Fast markets are going to push the obvious defects. They're going to say, the bathroom isn't perfect, but it's in blah, blah, blah neighborhood, so I'll do it. People do that all the time. I've been selling real estate in luxury markets my entire career of almost 27 years. So they do make, concessions on that. Strong demand, unlimited pricing power. Not really, because you got to understand in these premium markets, guys, the affordability in that echelon above us gets very thin very quickly. And with the way the market's going, stocks, everybody's freaked out about stuff. There's a certain group of folks that will always purchase in there without a doubt. But for the mass majority of Americans, that becomes very, very unsustainable and unreachable. So when it comes to unlimited pricing power, they have flexibility to go down, potentially, if they didn't leverage themselves to the hilt. But you know what? I kind of disagree with that one myself. But the launch strategy does matter from day one. You've got to come out of the box super hot, ready to rock and roll, looking your best, smelling the best, feeling the best. And the people will come back and actually recognize it. So for a more moderate and medium price markets, you're going to be pricing actually against the competition. Because like we saw, our sales numbers are going up. More people are going in there. So people are going to be a little bit more competitive because there's more options out there. So sellers have to adjust, buyers have to adjust, and agents need to adjust their mindset and thought patterns in that as well. Because if they go into it going like, well, it's 2012, I'm just making a year up here, and everything's flying off the shelf, we don't have to worry about anything. Very, very, very incorrect answer on that one. So then we're also going to take a look at, this is what I talked about earlier. Don't chase the market downward. Price your properties correctly, ladies and gentlemen. Do not fall for this BS that a lot of people get told of like, hey, just price it above the market. Then we'll get a lot of people to come on in and they'll want to buy your house. Or let's price it like $1 million below market and get 1,000, multiple offers in there. That's a horrible plan in some circumstances. Now, every scenario is different. So make sure you hire the best agent you possibly can in your marketplace. We always price at market. That's just the fair, right thing to do. Condition can separate. You can really separate that out quickly. And you know what? Condition is going to be in the eye of the beholder. Some people want something they can work on. Some people want something that's completely finished. Yeah, that is a discretionary choice on the buyer side and on the seller side on what they want to do and on what they're going to accept. And then the concession strategy. You know what? You can concede some stuff. But that, again, I think that fits in both categories here because with the concessions on the buyer's side and the seller side for the premium markets and the more moderate and affordable markets, is you can just go right down and say, hey, look, if you buy my house, I'll throw in a 2-year home warranty, not a 1-year home warranty. Or hey, you want to buy my couch for $1 or whatever outside of escrow. It's always outside of escrow. Lenders hate if you put it into the escrow. Outside of escrow for this couch that I made custom for this perfect corner in the living room, which by the way, I did on my last property I sold. I built a couch specifically for this piece of my house, and the buyer bought it. It just made sense. Those are concessions. Those are things they don't have to deal with anymore. Think about that outside the box. Have your agent think about that as well. Last slide, and I'll get the heck out of your guys' hair today, is this. What it means for buyers overall, kind of what we just talked about, right? Start with a payment, talk with a lender, talk with someone you trust about money. By the way, I work with a great company. We are opening up a whole new division on the whole money side, and there's a very, very, very awesome opportunity where you can actually tap into the equity of your existing home and take a lot of your 401k and retirement stuff and leverage that capital and use it for a down payment and still retain it in your investment accounts. Hit me up in the DMs. I'll fill you in. I have a great option for folks. Oh my God, this thing's so cool. And it's all legal. It's all IRS tax code, but nobody talks about it. It's so weird. Anyways, do this. We're also going to compare the markets and where your budget is going to buy, the monthly payment, and the type of life that you want, and the lifestyle, the communities, the things that light you up in life, right? Compare those markets. Not every market is a good market for every single buyer and seller. Okay. Number 3, use the inventory and the days on market to negotiate, with the sellers. Say, hey man, you've been on the market for 100 million days. What's going on? Got a greenhouse eating monster under there? What's happening here? Then make a decision, but you can always leverage it. Okay. Inventory is key and days on market are clutch. An old trick that we used to do, and it's illegal now, we can't do it anymore, but we used to do, we'd take it off the market for, I think, 3 days. It would reset in the MLS, pop back on as a new listing or at the top of everybody's ideas. MLS got wise of that. Now they have a cumulus days on market. So we can't really trick the system anymore. Rats. But it was effective. And our sellers did like it, and I didn't really see the harm in it. It just kind of popped you back up to the feed. But anywho, look at the days on market, figure out what the issue is, get the disclosure packages and everything else. And then make a move that fits for your life. You know what? Forget about the news cycles. Guess what? They are a cycle. They will cycle in, they will cycle out. They're going to be good and they're going to be bad. So with that being said, talk to an agent. If you guys are interested in the financing and kind of getting squared away and learn how you can use your retirement funds and keep your retirement funds while getting a high return on them, way above the banks or your 401ks, like a 7% return, and still use the cash. I know it's confusing. Hit me up. I would love to talk to you guys about it. Anyways, guys, I truly appreciate you. I think you guys are awesome sauce. Thanks for hanging out with me a little bit, and spread this around if you think any of your friends or family might be interested in talking about what a real California market is versus what the headlines say it is. Anyways, I love you guys. Deuces. Till the next video. Bye.